Yo, what's going on, boys? So we're doing a podcast today with my guy Paul here, who just moved to Miami now. Big in the fitness game, right? We're going to talk about business, mindset, fitness, and just overall success steps that you guys can utilize in the mindset you need to have to succeed. So Paul, for those of you guys that don't know who you are, explain like your backstory. What got you in the gym? What got you working out?
All right, so I started going to the gym. I was real skinny. Like I was 145 pounds, nothing. Heartbreak, one of the biggest reasons you get into the gym for a lot of people. And then I really just wanted to build myself, and it kind of helped me build my mindset, be more confident, just growth overall. So that'd be the main reason.
Bro, that's dope. I started out 135 pounds. So I was like 135 pounds, 6'3". I was skinny as hell. I didn't have a heartbreak. It was just like I was invisible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd walk into rooms, nobody would look. There'd be, you know how there's circles of friends in high school at lunch, they group around. I'd always get like budged out of that circle, bro.
Yes.
And I took all that shit personal. I was like, nah. But for a lot of the time, I mean, for the skinny guy who's out there, you know what I mean? If you feel like you're left out, heartbroken, like Paul, what advice would you give to that person, bro?
Go to the gym, man. I mean, go to the gym, start pushing the weight, eat more. You're going to end up building that muscle and gaining the weight. It's a matter of consistency.
Yeah. So was the main reason you started working out, was it more so building confidence, how you felt, or what was the real, everybody's a little bit different?
I would definitely say the main reason is mindset, building a stronger mindset, being more confident, and obviously building my physique.
Yeah. And people ask why. Like a lot of people are like, well, why does the gym build confidence and et cetera? I don't know what it is, but I know when I was out of shape, like I'd look in the mirror and I'd always feel out of place. I'd feel like I was out of my own skin. And it's just like you lift weights, you make progress, you gain weight. Like nobody can do the work for you, right? It's just you showing up no matter how you feel. And then when you start to see progress over time and build, I guess it's like kind of like you prove something to yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, you're doing it yourself. So, I mean, over time, that's going to be like you're accomplishing something. I made a video talking about that. I was like, it's an actual flex that you go to the gym and you start seeing progress and you build your body to that dream physique. Because it takes so long to do and so much work you have to put in to do it. So that's where that confidence comes in. That's where all that mentality comes in.
Yeah. And people don't get it too. A lot of people are at home, they're depressed, they're playing video games, but it's like the cure to depression is just working on something, right? Like I think it talks about it in the Science of Getting Rich. It says you need to either be upgrading mentally, physically, or spiritually. And if you leave any one of those aspects out in your life, you're going to live an unfulfilled life. Like you're not living life to the fullest extent. So I want you to explain too, I mean, like, how long has your gym journey been, bro? Like,
about 3 years, 2 years consistently, but the year before that I was kind of on and off with sports, just focusing on that. But 2 years consistently of going to the gym and working out and stuff like that.
That's dope, bro. Why'd you quit sports though? What was the main reason?
So actually, in my high school, people were paying the coaches to play.
Oh, shit.
And my senior year, I just decided to quit and just continue with the gym and be more consistent in it. So
it was like some black market shit. People were sliding money under the table.
Basically.
Bro, I want you to talk about them. I want you to talk about this, bro, because you're wearing a dress shirt, bro.
Yeah.
But every time you have a stringer on, there's like a cool ass scar that you have going down your arm. You got a scar on your hand. They'll probably be able to see it if you show it on the camera. Then you got a scar on your collarbone, bro. I want you to explain, like, what's the story behind those scars, bro?
So I actually used to race motocross, and actually all of my breaks happened during state qualifiers. And that was about it. I snapped my collarbone, snapped my arm, hand, had surgery on it. Got about 24 screws and 3 plates. So within my upper body, I've been rock bottom in the gym. Like when I came back from those surgeries, I was dumbbell bench pressing 15 pounds for 5 reps.
Damn.
Like it took me a long time to get back to where I am now.
So you've fallen off, built back up, fallen off, built back up again. I was asking you this though, like you said pre-qualifiers, so that's like, I'm assuming it's a competition?
Yes, so they have races all around the U.S. I mean, you can travel anywhere and race pretty much. But I was in the Texas series, so state was held in Dallas, and I was just on the last race. I was qualified in first for my class actually in the 450 novice, and that last race, I broke my arm, so I never made it to state actually. So.
Damn, bro, that's fucking nuts. And bro, I know I asked you this in the gym, but what made you keep like you broke? Which one did you? What did you break first, bro?
My collarbone is what I broke first.
You broke your collarbone first, And then what'd you break after that?
My hand.
Your hand, and then after that you broke the arm.
The arm, yeah.
Bro, what made you keep going? I'm gonna go back to motocross. I'm gonna do this shit again.
Honestly, it's kind of like an adrenaline thing. If you're an adrenaline junkie, you love chasing adrenaline, you keep doing it anyways because you love it. It's fun, right? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it takes a toll on you.
And then I know we asked this in the gym, but like, how did you not like mess up your bicep? Explain how they moved it
So
back.
during the surgery, your bicep actually floats there. It's not connected to anything. So they cut my arm open, they moved the bicep over, and then put the plate and screws in, and then moved it back over.
Bro, that's nuts. That's nuts. But like, is your mentality now? I mean, do you feel like you're half cyborg? Do you look at it like, nah, I'm fucking made of metal?
Yeah, it helps a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, it kind of makes my arm look a little bit bigger.
Bro, but that's one thing that makes you unique. You know what I mean? I remember when you first joined the community, I saw your page and I met you in person. I was like, bro, Paul's a completely different dude in person. You know what I mean? You're a cool ass dude, bro. I was asking if you had sales experience, but like, explain your upbringing, bro. Like before all the noise, like how did Paul grow up?
So originally I'm from Oklahoma. Lived there up until my freshman year of high school. Nothing crazy. Moved to Texas and, you know, started working in the oil field, all that. Actually, I need to backtrack a little bit. So my parents aren't my biological parents. I'm actually adopted. So, I mean, a lot of people, when I say that, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, it's not anything like that. Like, it doesn't bother me or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I see them as my parents, right? And I know my birth parents, too. Real nice people. You know, it was just one of those, what do you call, situations. But, yeah, so I moved to Texas, finished off high school there, started working in the oil field. Didn't like it. I hated it. You know, I was taking down electrical motors every day, repairing them. And I was just standing at that table all day, just tearing them apart. I'm like, man, I wish I could do something else. And then that's when I decided to join the community and move out here. So
Hell yeah, bro. That's
where we're
dope.
at now.
That's dope. I got two brothers. Both my brothers are older than me. They were adopted. I don't know if my mom thought that she couldn't have kids. I think that was what it was. So before I was born, I had two brothers that are adopted. I remember people would ask them too. They're like, I'm adopted. And yeah, people would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're like, I don't really care. Yeah, they're like, I don't really care. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool how you've gone through some adversity. You know what I mean? You had all these challenges and you kept fighting, you kept getting back up. I want to talk to them about the mindset aspect, right? Because I know I asked this on a plane of adrenaline junkie, but like, even with the setbacks in your life, you know, some people might call not having your biological parents a setback. Some people might call breaking a bone a setback, and you still got in the gym. You still kept going after it. What do you say to the people that have a victim mentality, right? Instead of conquering life, life happens to them.
Just do it. Quit making excuses for yourself and go to the gym and push the weight. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, if you don't, it's gonna overcome you, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it. And you're gonna be in the same spot. It's gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. So just do it. Stop making excuses for yourself. Yeah.
I think it comes to the end principle that as a man, after you turn 18, nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's going to come give you a crown and say, hey, you're meant to be a millionaire. I'm going to give you a Lambo. I wish it was like that. But I feel like a lot of the adversity helped me build myself, right? I was always picked on in school. I was left out. I was at an all-white school. I was a half-black kid. And the whole world, like my world at the time, high school, hated me. But that was really when I built me. You know what I mean? Dad passed away when I was 8, no father figure. Everything was piled on top of me. Like I had a mom that would tell me, Vincent, this is one small bump in the road. It seems like the whole show right now. And I guess I just took that into account. And I don't know, it's almost like when a lot of people dislike you at the time, that trauma creates a certain level of self-love that's unmatched, right? I could have everybody in the world. I could have millions of haters saying, oh, Vincent's this, Vincent's that. But I know me, you know what I mean? And there's some people out there that haven't found themselves, they haven't gotten comfortable with themselves yet. I feel like everybody, if you want to win, you have to get to a point where you look in the mirror and you love yourself. Like you like what you see no matter where you're at. I always tell people, confidence doesn't come after a result, but confidence creates a result, right? People see me now and they're like, Vince, you have Lambos and Rolls Royces, you're in a penthouse, and that's why you're confident. I'm like, no, I have all these things because I'm confident. I created the man first. I liked what I saw first, and I got comfortable with me, and everything else after was a byproduct. So how do you feel like, I mean, was it mainly the gym that built your confidence? What was it really that built your confidence, bro?
I think the gym definitely shaped me overall as a person because I made it my personality, really. Because just like you said, I mean, at high school, I didn't have much real friends, you know, like actual real friends. It was just always, you know, the ones that were around but never would really do anything. They're asking stuff of you, stuff like that. But yeah, I would definitely say the gym. But yeah, confidence comes before it. It's what creates the result. I believe in that.
Yeah, I think I almost hypnotized myself to have confidence, bro. I remember having an unhealthy self-image, and I just listened to so many affirmations saying, like, you're a winner, you're a millionaire, you're this, you're that. It's kind of like Mike Tyson, how his boxing coach would hypnotize him to think he was the best boxer in the world. And was it hypnotization if it worked? You know, I think everybody is capable of doing the same exact thing, no matter how you view yourself right now. If you constantly repeat to yourself, whether you're awake or you're asleep and it's in headphones, if you have affirmations saying that you're a winner, saying that you're successful, you're going to start to view yourself in that light. So like on a deep psychological level, not a lot of people understand that as humans, we have the ability to create ourselves and almost affirm what we want to be. You know, and a lot of people use that to a disadvantage. A lot of people go, well, I can't do this because I'm not that type of person. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not the social media guy, so I haven't figured this out. And luckily, I had mentors along my journey that would catch me saying stuff like that. And they go, don't say that shit, bro. Because if you want to be the tech guy, if you want to be a millionaire, you want to be all these things, you need to learn this stuff. So, I mean, that's important too. Do you think, this is a controversial question, but do you think men need therapy?
Not really. I would more or less say the gym is therapy. I mean, that's I mean, that's how it worked for me. I don't really believe in all that. You know, so
Yeah. The reason I ask that is because, you know, I'll see some men that are like, you know, I need therapy and this is that. I need someone to talk to, a helping hand. But I've almost seen that as a crutch to a certain point, right? Because some men look for comfort, you know, they'll look for companionship. And it's almost not to change and grow and self-develop. It's almost like the purpose of that is for somebody to be in their corner and cry with them. You know, when the truth is, the only person that's going to solve your problems is you. So like you're saying about the gym, it's like whenever I was depressed, whenever I was sad, whenever I was heartbroken, I took that shit out on the weights. I put it on my craft. And it was always direct fuel that you can use to build, right? Some people have a heartbreak, a traumatic experience, and they turn to negative habits. What would you say to that person, bro? You know, something bad happens. They get heartbroken, they crash their car, something, you know, and they go drink. What do you say to that person?
it's definitely not the way to go about it. Do not go out and drink and party. I've been there. I've done that. It's not the way to go. If you're really wanting to learn something from what happened, think about what you did to make that happen, for that to happen to you, and go change that. Go to the gym, you know, think about what you did during that relationship to get heartbroken. Change.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
100%.
Build that mindset.
Hell
Be
yeah,
stronger.
dog.
Have a stronger mindset.
Hell yeah, bro. And I want to ask you too, you recently moved to Miami, right?
Yes.
What was the reason behind moving to Miami? Is the Miami effect real? Now I got all these questions.
Miami effect hits you right as you get into Miami. I mean, it's real, first off. But I wanted to get out of my hometown. You know, they have that saying, like, everybody in your hometown, their mindset is stopped at a certain level because everyone there is thinking the same. You know, there's a money cap, all this, right? So I wanted to get out of my hometown and experience something new. I was like, well, first off, since I joined the community, I might as well move here. I mean, there's being money printed out of here like crazy. So I might as well come here and, you know, move to Miami and live the experience.
Yeah. Do you feel like, I don't know, you feel like you've seen more than your hometown, or what do you think the biggest change was?
Everything. I mean, I'm literally from West Texas. With the population of the town I was living in was like 200,000. So now that I'm here in this massive city, it's definitely, I mean, everything is just different.
Yeah.
It's like a third world country, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, not a lot of people understand that we're humans and we have the ability to move, but humans are creatures of habit. So a lot of people spend their entire lives in one place. When I travel somewhere exotic, if I'm going to Costa Rica, I'm going to Colombia, I'm going to the Maldives, I always ask, like, the tour guides, I'm like, were you born here? You ever been to the US? Have you ever been here? No, I've been here my entire life. That's how a lot of people live their lives, stationary in one spot, not knowing that there's more, right? So, like, I feel like traveling, what it opened up for me is exactly like you said, there's different vibrations in different areas. In Arizona, a 40-year-old with $2 million was like balling. You know what I mean? If I saw somebody with a Mercedes, I'd be like, holy shit, bro. There wasn't even Lambos. Like, it was like a once in a blue moon type of thing. You get to Miami, bro, a Lambo is like regular traffic, bro. And you're just like, what the fuck? You get to Dubai, and the license plate's the flex. It's not even the Lambo. Everybody got a Lambo, but then the number 2 license plate is worth more than all the Lambos. So it's like, I think the best strategy, if you want to build the best life possible and be the most capable, is just getting to high difficulty cities. So do you feel like the cost of living in Miami pushed you a little bit too?
It definitely did, but it's not something I'm really worried about. I don't want to, like you said, you're spending money to create money, to build money, print money.
Yeah. But not a lot of people get that, right? I always say you can only invest in 2 things. If you want to go from 0 to 100, there's 2 things you should invest in: your education and your presentation, right? Education, presentation, what you know, your ability to make money, your ability to learn systems, to speak, to sell, to persuade, to lead. And then presentation is how you look, right? Like, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars with fitness and had it in a bank account. And I tried to play the correct route you learn in Arizona. I'm like, let me buy stocks. I'm going to buy the S&P 500. Then it was like a few months of that, and it wasn't moving at all. And nobody was listening to my advice because I had nothing to show. And it was like the moment I bought a nice car, everybody listened. It was really weird. You know what I mean? It was like, you guys didn't listen to me like a month ago before I had this car. Now you're listening to me. And I mean, people really do judge based off of looks and what they see.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like a lot of people now, they'll think, oh, this guy's flexing or whatever. A lot of it's so people listen, and it's just an everyday life after a certain point. I always say when you move to Miami, life becomes a vacation, right? Like the day the vacation started and never ended was when I moved here. When I packed my bags, boom, moved into the condo. And I was like, what the heck? It's still fascinating. I feel like, you know, a city is good when you've lived there for a certain period of time and you're still like, man, I love this place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'll notice too, Paul, like if you go back home, everything's going to be smaller than it was before. You're like, what the fuck? Like the ceilings I thought were bigger or smaller. Everything's like, yo, where's I went back to Arizona. I was like, where's my Lambo? Like, where's that? You know what I mean? Like, where's everything? I was living like this. What the hell? But it's just your appetite grows over time too. So, you know, another thing that I want to kind of go over is, I mean, outside of the gym aspect, what made you initially want to help people with online coaching, bro?
That's kind of genuinely just how I've always been. I like to help people just in general, any way I can. You know, every time I saw a homeless person, I try to either get them food or something like that, or buddies needed help, I always help them, or someone random asked me for help, I'll try to help the best way I can. It's just, I like helping people.
Yeah, that's funny, bro. You know, it's funny, bro, because Paul, the reason I hang around you so much, I don't hang around anyone. You know, I'm like, Paul's a cool ass guy. One thing I noticed, you're just a good dude, bro. You know what I mean? You're a good dude, and I think that's the most important thing. It's funny that, I mean, when you said that you were adopted and you went to a school that was mixed, I could already almost guess that. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's weird. Like if somebody, and I don't even mean to sound racist right now. I don't even mean to sound, but like if somebody's from like all white parents, you know, white school, etc., I have a hard time like getting along with them a little bit, where it's like, I'm like, yeah, hey, what's going on, bro? And they're just,
yeah, because they don't.
But on the flip side too, if somebody's from an all black family, black parents, I'm black and white, I still don't get along with them as much because it's just different culture. So I almost can tell when somebody's from a mixed culture and a mixed environment. What I mean is, like, I went to a very traditional school when I first started high school, of like all white, strict, go to college, go to Yale and Stanford, and I never fit in. But then when I went to a mixed school, you know what they told me at this school? Like my friends at the white school would say, they're gonna rob you, bro. There's black people, there's Mexicans, there's this, that. And I'm like paranoid coming in, but I'm half black and I'm still paranoid of these people. Then I get there, they're like, yo, Vince, what's up, man? Hell yeah, bro, here's this guy here. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I feel like on the lower levels, there's almost a degree, and this is a very deep topic, but there's a degree of separation. They want everybody fighting against everybody. And we mentioned this at dinner the other night. It's like, they want blacks versus whites. They want Hispanics versus blacks. They want Trump versus whoever. They want Iran versus, you know, whoever. And then you're not focused on you. Yep. I feel like there's a certain level of growth and self-focus when you ignore all the noise of the external world, like, you know, Ilya Taporia knocked out this dude. I'm like, that's cool. I like it. Like, yo, that's awesome. That's inspiring. But I'm liking it because I see a piece of me in a winner. You know what I mean? I see a piece of me. I'm like, damn. So, I mean, what do you say to the people that go, the gym isn't everything though, bro? You know, you made it your person, bro. The gym's not everything, this, that.
Well, I mean, the gym isn't everything, but it can be, right? So There's more to the gym than just going to the gym and lifting the weights. There's recovery, there's eating right, there's, your mental health. All of that will build within the gym. So it can be everything. You just have to see it once you start seeing your results from going to the gym. So I would argue that the gym is definitely a lot of what you need to put into your life to be able to be healthy over time.
Yeah. 100%, bro. I feel like even I've had different reasons for the gym over time, right? Like when I first started lifting, I was extremely insecure and skinny. I was like, I'm going to put on as much size as humanly possible. So I'd like eat 5,000 calories a day to a point I was groggy, and I got up to like 210 pounds. On my frame, since I have a little bit of like a more, I guess, slim frame, 210 is like the max I can get to before I go cuckoo in my head and I can't do business. You know what I mean? And then over time, when I did start doing business, my goal wasn't to be the biggest in the room, bodybuilder, et cetera. It was to stay mentally active. It was like, I know if I don't work out, I'm going to be slower on meetings. I'm going to be slipping over my words. When I do work out, my brain is fired up. Everything else is moving in coordination. So there's different reasons to get in the gym for everybody. But yeah, like you're saying, I agree. It's mutually beneficial in every single area. I don't work out to be the most jacked at this current moment. I work out to just keep everything flowing, and I feel like to the guy out there that thinks, oh, well, I don't want to get too big or whatever. Sometimes you don't got to work out to get too big. You just work out to feel better about yourself, And I've noticed the more that I invest in myself, the more that I self-develop, the better you feel to a certain degree. Yep. So what's your reason for working out, though? What do you feel like your reason is?
Well, for me, I've gotten to a point where I can't skip the gym. Like I'm going no matter what. And, I just say, it's part of my schedule now. It's there. It's going to happen. That's my main reason for working out. I love the gym. I'm going to go. And if I skip, it almost takes a toll on me. I'm like, why'd I skip? There was no point to skip. You had time to go.
Yeah.
So it's just part of my schedule. And like you said, it helps me, kind of stay focused, keep that strong mindset, all that. And yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's dope. I get a lot of comments. They're like, well, if you're doing online coaching, you're not a bodybuilder. I was like, I never said I was a bodybuilder in my life. You know what I mean?
Things.
I'm a gym bro. I like working out. You know what I mean? I started out super skinny and anorexic, and I got to a decent shape. I was never the biggest in the room, the strongest. And I think that's the beauty about the industry, right? With online coaching, with personal branding in general, there's no such thing as oversaturation if you're authentically you. Right? I was never, like I said, the strongest. I was like, but hey, look, I'm on this journey. I'm skinny, I'm gaining weight, and here's a movement. I almost created a movement where these gym pages would hit me up like with millions of followers early on in my journey. Hey, we want to document your 6-month anorexic to this transformation. We think it'd go good as a Snapchat movie filter thing. I'm like, hell yeah. Hey, we want to do an interview here. And it was almost like, it was just about the message, So like, I feel like if you're watching this and you think you're excluded from online coaching because you're not 250 pounds and 5% body fat, bro, most people don't even want to look like a bodybuilder. Some people want to be in decent shape. 80% of America's obese, right? They're out of shape. They hate the way they look. They want to get in decent shape. And that's most people's goal, honestly. You know what I mean? And I think it's beautiful that you can help your past self. That's what I like about online coaching, right? When I was helping people go from skinny to bulked up, I'd see these literally like almost alternate clone versions of me. And they're like, Vince, I'm skinny, bro. I'm invisible. I just got heartbroken. I'm like, bro, I see me and you, I see me and you, and I want to help that person out. So that's what I love, and a lot of people, what I noticed is they have a negative mentality around making money in the first place. They have a negative mentality around wanting nice things. I'll ask people their goals. I'm like, hey, what's your goal with online coaching, bro? And obviously I want to be humble, and bro, I just want to help people. I'm like, bro, you didn't pay to not make money back. Like, what's your actual goal? If I could make $5,000 a month, bro, I'm like, 5K, bro, why 5K? I'm like, you 5K, you can have more than that, bro. Yeah. They're like, well, yeah, I just want to be humble. I want to make sure I'm not like, asking for too much. I'm like, who told you to be humble? I'm like, why are you being humble? A lot of the time they don't even know. Yeah. They're like, well, that's just what I've been told. Yep. So I had a mentor when I was 16, and he told me, he's like, Vincent, all being humble is going to get you is overworked and underpaid. This dude had a drop top Phantom. He had a penthouse in LA. He had a penthouse in Las Vegas. He'd go back and forth. He had millions and millions of dollars. And I was like, well, I'm going to listen to the guy that has the results. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people misunderstand humility, right? If you're being confident, that doesn't mean you're not being humble. Yeah. Which means you're being confident, right? But a lot of people associate humble with putting your head down and tucking your tail and almost feeling worthless. That's not what being humble is, you know? Like, I feel like humility to a certain degree, and well, off camera though, no, but we're both very humble guys off camera. Like, I'm around you, you're around me. If somebody comes up to me, I'm always gonna smile and be like, hey man, awesome, bro. Like, it's nice seeing you. I think that's what humility is. Yep. But you can do that and be proud of yourself and have confidence. You know what I mean? So what do you feel like the balance is? You feel like it's important to be humble? You feel like, what's your thoughts on that, bro?
No, I definitely agree with you. I mean, yeah, be humble, but don't walk around with your head tucked and your tail tucked. I mean,
yeah.
At that point, you're just going to be stuck doing a 9-to-5 forever. I mean, and that's what they're taught. That's what you're taught growing up. They're high school. They're all that. That's they're like, yeah, you're going to go to college. You're going to get a pay cap. You're going to, you don't have to.
Yeah. 100%, bro. It's almost like there's no other option. You know, it's funny because now online coaching is normalized. Like, everybody wants to be an online coach, et cetera. But when I first started in the game, it was a myth to be able to make money from fitness. It was like, if you were a gym bro, you're associated with the word broke. Broke gym bro, spends all his money on supplements, jack but dumb. That was the memo around gym people, and I always thought I wanted to change that memo. I want the gym bros to be pulling up in nice whips, Louis bags, like all the coolest shit in the world. And I feel like that's what I'm starting to see the industry become, you know, and I feel like that's the most beautiful part. You don't have to be associated as a broke gym person. I'll get on calls with people and they'll go, well, yeah, bro, I'm just a gym bro. You know what I mean? Like, we don't really make money. I'm like, stop saying you don't make money. I'm like, stop saying that you have bad genetics. Stop saying that your leads are bad. Stop affirming things that don't serve the greater purpose of your goals. You know, so like, did you believe you had good genetics when you first started working out?
No.
No?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just, I kept putting in work until I saw results, and kind of spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where I'm at now.
And I feel like, to summarize that, you have to outwork your self-doubts, right? Because we all get doubts, right? I always thought, you know, no matter how much I eat, I can't gain weight. Working out's not for me. I don't have the genetic to put on muscle fast. And then I just worked, you know, and I'll see different people, right? Because some people are like, nah, Vince, I knew I had it in me from day one. Some people are like, man, I don't know if I have it. But if you just put the work in, if you work hard enough, you don't even have time to doubt yourself. I have too many meetings to doubt myself. Yeah. Like I told you, I was on 3 meetings before the podcast. In between, I'm like taking a leak, and then I'm back to another meeting. Then I'm in the car on the way to this podcast. Then after that, I got to eat. Then there's another meeting. So a lot of the time, if you're depressed, it's because you're not busy enough, right? Like I always tell people, the cure to depression is progression. You need to keep yourself busy. Nobody's going to come give you a busy schedule either, unless you work 9 to 5, right? Like, you have to schedule things. I was like, yo, Paul, want to do a podcast, bro? Boom. We run a podcast. I tell my guys, bro, you free at this time? Let's jump on a meeting. But when I'm not doing stuff, even now, even as somebody who's financially successful, if I'm not doing anything, I get depressed too, bro. Yeah. I get lazy too. I go into unhealthy habits. My unhealthy habit, I'll just start spending money if I'm not working. You know what I mean? Like, you have to learn yourself, bro. So do you go to the gym every single day? Pretty much, yeah. Bro, every day. That's awesome. What do you think about the people that say, well, if you go every day, you're stunting your growth and this is that?
No, you're not. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've continued to grow, and I go every day. I don't do the rest day or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I go every day of the week, and I can still continuing to grow. So I don't believe in all that.
Yeah, bro, that's dope. I'm a go every day type of dude too. When I don't have meetings, I'm going every single day. And some days when I'm off meetings, it'll be 11 p.m. I'll go. You know, we always have these talks where like, damn, Powerhouse is closed, let's go to Elevation, right? Like, that's the mentality. But when people told me that, they're like, hey, listen, you have to take a day off or you're not going to see progress. That's when I realized I don't even work out to build muscle as much. Because, yeah, I'm sure maybe if I did take a day off, I'd get a little bit stronger. But here I'd get fucked up. Like, we're gym bros, so it's a little bit like if we're not working out. We're a little bit cuckoo in the head, bro. So, like, I'm thinking about shooting somebody or, you know what I mean? Thinking, I don't know. You got to take it out somewhere. So, you know, the funniest thing though, bro, is like the beginning of my journey was proving everyone wrong. It's like, I want to go from skinny to build. I want to prove people wrong. Then you almost beat that game. People see visible results and they believe in you. And then I don't know what it is after that. I don't know what keeps you going. I guess it's just progress and growth itself. Right? A lot of people, they go to materialistic stuff and they'll say, well, their life is the gym. Well, they're just focused on money. bro, they don't understand we're actually just focused on growth. Right? Like we don't obsess over biceps and muscles, and we don't look at a stack of 10,000 and just go, man, the money. No, you're like, I'm making progress. My business is growing. I'm getting in better shape. I'm hitting PRs. In every single area of your life, you got to hit PRs. The gym, financially, maybe it's posting, maybe it's even literature, right? Speaking. It's just, I think the purpose of life as a human is constant growth and expansion, right? It's just, you start out, you're a kid, you have no idea how the world works. Why is it set up like that? I don't know. You're a kid, you have no idea how the shit works. You learn how to walk, you fall down, you get back up, you walk. Then you learn how to talk a little bit. You learn how to talk, boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, you're paying taxes. You know what I mean? Like, And then it's just, you keep growing and growing. And what I've seen is that's the most beautiful thing, bro. You know what I mean? And it starts with the gym. I mean, what's your main motivation behind becoming financially successful, bro?
Just looking for growth, chasing growth. I mean, chasing bettering myself overall.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do. So just chasing growth and bettering my life overall. And definitely, you know, bettering my parents' lives in any way possible. My future family's lives, whatever it is. Just growth overall. Yeah,
bro. You gotta see yourself as the black sheep before you become the black sheep. Like, I always thought too, like, it's funny because I would tell my girl this 2 years ago. I was like, we got to have a kid ASAP because I got to do it for my kid. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think, like, I think generations down the line, because I think, okay, there's my mom, my dad, my grandparents, etc. None of them were filthy rich. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to be the guy that's going to be filthy rich and change everything. And then a lot of people are just too selfish to make a change. You know what I mean? A lot of people just focus on what they want in the moment. So they're out of shape. And then their kids look up to them. Their kids are out of shape. They're financially unsuccessful. Their kids look up to them and think that's how the world is. So they're financially unsuccessful as well. And it's like, to a certain degree, I don't know, if you have the consciousness and even the desire to break that pattern in your family, it's the number one sign you're going to be a black sheep and change everything, bro. What's your actual goal? Like, what are you aiming towards now? I mean, gym goals, life goals?
My main goal now is building my online fitness coaching. And that's the only thing I'm focused on right now.
Yeah.
Gym, obviously I'm going to go there no matter what, which is part of building my online fitness coaching. But I'd say that's definitely the main goal, is just building that up. So.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand, to build a business nowadays, the easiest way to do that is to build a brand, right? Because the brand is what sells. Anybody could get a free workout routine online. Anybody could Google, how do I do fitness coaching? But it's like, you're selling your story, you're selling your mission, you're selling the transformation, you're selling opinions. Like, think about designer brands, right? If you go to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, it's $50. You know it's $50 to make it. They sell it for $2,000. But I don't care about that. I'll have people come up to me, like, they'll see my Phantom and they'll be like, oh, nice BMW because it's made by BMW and manufactured. I'm like, yeah, but if I buy a BMW, nobody's looking. You know what I mean? But if I buy the Phantom, I'm not buying the material. I don't give a fuck about the engine. I care about the status. I care about the trophy, the achievement. I like seeing the spirit of ecstasy. Well, Vince, it costs $50. I don't give a fuck how much it costs. You know what I mean? It's like, as men too, since the beginning of time, we wanted trophies. You know, like a car, I look at it like a trophy. A physique, you look at yourself in the mirror, it's your trophy. You know, so, I mean, that's a big part of it too, bro. You know, just stacking trophies. What's your, I mean, outside of taking care of family, which is an amazing thing, what's another financial goal? I know you're looking at a new spot to move. You got a damn penthouse you're looking at, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking at a penthouse right now.
Bro,
so
that's not, and when he means penthouse, you mean like the top floor,
yeah,
bro.
Top floor.
He means the top floor.
43rd floor, yeah, top floor. So.
Yeah. But here's another thing I want to talk about too, bro. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but like, I see a lot of people crushing young people's dreams, right? Like, I live in a 2-story penthouse. And when I say penthouse, I mean the highest floor. But I'll see reels and guys are like, people are getting condos, they're calling them penthouses now. Bro, let the kids live. Like, let them say penthouse, bro. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You know, like, at the end of the day, you can't get too caught up in this game of shaming other people and putting them down. I had my barber ask me, he's like, Vince, what do you think about new people in the info space selling courses and this is that? I'm like, well, bro, that was me. Like, when I was selling fitness programs, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. When I switched to consulting, to some degree, I didn't know what I was doing. And when I see somebody trying to do that, I don't go, man, you don't have experience, you shouldn't be doing it. I go, hell yeah, bro, I'm cheering you on. And I feel like it's just a reflection of insecurity, right? They think to some degree, subconsciously, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, they think that the run is temporary, right? They think they got a little bit of success, and the insecurity of them being replaceable makes them shame other people that are looking to do the same thing. I've always been the first person when I see somebody trying to get into info to go, hey man, what's your product, bro? How can we tweak this? But dog, you only got 5 videos, bro. Let's make it structured like this. Let's build the back end. Let's build the systems. Here's how you correctly market. But I've always been a guy, I want to lift you up. Like if I see you trying some shit, like same thing you're saying about the gym. If you see somebody struggling with fitness, you want to lift them up naturally. So yeah, I don't know what that dilemma is, but I see a lot of it, especially recently. I see a lot of shame around Miami. I see a lot of shame around younger people trying to make a name for themselves. And I just think if we just stop hating and we make the world a better place in general, you know, everybody can succeed. Yeah. I think it's a scarcity mindset, right? That mentality would be like me telling you, if you get jacked, you're going to take away from my muscle gain. No, we have 2 different bodies. You know what I mean? Same thing with info. It's like people think if that dude makes 10,000, it takes out of my pool and I lose 10,000. Bro, no, like there's trillions of dollars being printed a day. You know, so you have to think in abundance. I feel like that's the most important thing. And you have to live life with no limits, right? When I first got in the gym, for example, I didn't know there was a cap on how much muscle you can gain. I just thought like you get in the gym and you get jacked in 6 months. My brothers were jacked. They used to be skinny. I'm like, they got me in the gym. I'm like, I get jacked. So by the time I had put on 60 pounds in a year, people would tell me like, Vince, that's not humanly possible. There's a scientific limit that you can only gain this much and stay this body fat. And I actually looked it up. I like broke that limit. But it was because I didn't allow my mind to even create a limit. I didn't allow my mind to create a ceiling. And you can do the extraordinary if you don't even look at ordinary, right? You don't even look at the people, oh, that person gains 20 pounds a year and that's normal. Bro, there's statistical outliers, right? Everything's averages. If they say on average you can gain 30 pounds, there's gonna be one dude that's gained 60, there's gonna be one dude that gained 7, there's gonna be one dude that gained 30, you know, and then they average it out. So, I mean, everybody that's watching this is capable of greatness, you know, and there's going to be people trying to drag you down. There's going to be the devil working through people saying, you can't do this, give up. And it's just up to you to understand that even if you do have the devil in your ear, right? They say hate always comes from below. I've had hate come from above, but I use that as a sign and like almost like a symbol of I'm doing the right thing. That's when I knew I had something special. When people above you are hating on you, that's the number one sign you're meant to be something great. If I were to be one of those kids like that said, hey, I got a penthouse, but it's the 12th floor, right? And it has a view. I wouldn't go, man, you know, he's making $1 million a month. He shamed me. I should give up. Nah, bro, like take that and go, okay, if he's making $1 million a month, but he's talking shit about me, there must be something special about me. You know what I mean? That's the correct mentality to have, and that's how you can grow. People told me I couldn't do what I did. You know what I mean? When I first got to Miami, they said, you're not going to make any money from this, right? You're not one of the big figures and this, that. We're about to hit 7 figures this month. And I didn't listen to the doubts. I used them as fuel, if anything, bro. So what do you say to the person that's being talked to negatively? He's being put down. His entire world is just telling him he can't.
Let him talk. I mean, shut him out. They're at the end of the day, their opinion doesn't matter. You keep going to work, putting in the work, grinding. It's not going to matter what they say. Mm-hmm. Keep posting. I mean, especially on social media, you're going to have hate no matter what. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of people that don't agree with you. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it. Don't pay it any mind. Just prove them wrong with numbers.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I don't know what it is. I'm like a hater. But I mean, it's like I hate people that are hating. Yeah. You know what And I didn't always have results to even stand up for the people that are bullying people. There's guys that are doing $500,000 a month or so, hating on guys doing $100,000 a month. Now I can go up here and be like, bro, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop. But all that is what I told you, bro. It's the insecurity of feeling like their run is temporary. It's the insecurity of feeling like they may not be special. But there's enough for everybody to eat. Everybody needs to continue to grow. And it just makes the world a better place, right? Like, I always think of it like every single service is helping people, right? Consulting's been around since the beginning of time. Bro, I mean, college courses is still a course. Courses has been around since the beginning of time. And people learn something, right? Now, one thing that, I don't know, there may be a gray area too where you shouldn't lie, right? You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't say like, hey, I make $1 million a month, but you're not. Yeah. You shouldn't say like, hey, I know how to build 200 pounds of muscle in a year and you're 160. That's like a gray area where it's like, bro, you shouldn't do that. But if everybody's acting justly, if everybody's working fairly, I'd tell people, bro, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm a gym bro. But if you want to go on this journey with me, I have gained this amount of weight over this time frame. You know, you're expected to get maybe half the result. Yeah. Or maybe 2/3 of the result. Maybe you got more results than me. And what I've realized with coaching, Paul, that you'll find out too, I used to think I was so special, bro. I used to think, nobody's gained the same weight I have and I'm different. Until I started doing coaching and fitness programs, there was motherfuckers with transformations just like mine. But there was also the devil in my clients' ears where people that followed me would go, if you really think that he gained this much and you've fallen victim to his fitness program. And my clients were like, bro, shut up. And then they'd go put on 30 pounds in 6 months. And I'd be like, yeah, bro, like that's what it is. It's a game of belief at the end of the day, right? Because everybody can be, this is what online coaching taught me, bro. Everybody can be given the same exact strategy and blueprint. The people that succeed, they believe it'll work. The people that don't, they believe it won't, right? So the man that believes he can and the man that believes he can are both right. So life is a test of faith as well, right? In every single area, your mindset can sabotage the result. To where, like I said, we're creators. We can create our reality. We can affirm things into the universe. If you affirm that something doesn't work, right, what do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna get passed with flying color? No. Like if you go into a boxing match thinking, that dude's gonna beat me, I'm gonna get knocked out, you're probably not gonna win, bro. You know what I mean? You have the best mental model is going into shit thinking about best possible case. So one thing I noticed, you're very optimistic. I'm very optimistic. Do you think you were born optimistic, or you think it was something you learned over time?
I mean, I don't know. I never really thought of it like that, but I'd say picked it up over time.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, I would say just straight up. For as long as I can remember, I have been, so.
Yeah. That's funny, bro, because I almost remember a time I wasn't with sports, right? Like I'd be super confident in practice. I'd be horrible in the games. And I was like, wait, why are these dudes better than me? I know I'm practicing more than them. Sometimes belief beats hard work. Like it's nuts, bro. But sometimes like the dude that's just like, yeah, I don't even need to train. I'm going to knock him out. Think about like Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, right? Ryan Garcia's drinking before he's fucking around. He's like, I'm going to knock his ass out. But then he knocks him out. But Devin was training his ass off for like 7 camps because it's all a mental game. You know what I mean? Life, boxing, gym, it's all mental first, right? The battle is won before you go to battle. That's what people don't get. Even business, the battle's won before you go to battle. If you want to kill it in business, you have to believe you're good at business. Talent itself, like you ever see like somebody's talented, they do something that's like they're good at everything they do. They're good at everything they do because they believe they'll be good at everything they do. And the people that are untalented usually have unhealthy self-images. It's kind of like LeBron, right? LeBron, he does basketball, but at the same time, he's good at swimming too, and he's good at other things. And it's just like self-image. How do you view yourself at the end of the day? And what do you need to do to raise your self-image? Maybe it's working out. That's another thing that helps as well. Maybe it's educating yourself. Maybe it's all these different things, but there's different types of winners too, right? Some winners are born winners. I've seen that. I've seen guys that are just like, they come out the womb confident. They got the right parents in their ear. I wasn't born a winner, right? I had to study. I was like, why are these people, why are they winning and they're losing? What's the mental model behind it? I'd ask my mom, I'd be like, Mom, what I'm noticing is the greats in every area, they're extremely confident in what they do and they believe they're the best. She's like, no, Vincent, you need to be humble. And some of them aren't. Like, look at Warren Buffett, he's humble. I'm like, well, I guarantee you behind the camera, that motherfucker knows, like he knows that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to investing. He believes he's the number one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be the best if you don't believe that to some degree. So, I mean, I guess it goes back to humility and mentality. I want to ask you too, what's your mentality behind investing in self-development, bro?
I'll do it 100%. Like, do it. Like, it's the best thing you can do for yourself. Invest in yourself.
But what's your why? Like, why do you think it's important to invest in yourself?
It's better for growth. At the end of the day, it's better for your brand. Because the more confident you are, the better you are with words, the better your body language is, then the better results you're going to see from that. So, yeah, I would. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I look at it like this, right? When I told you I got it in the gym, I got it in the gym with my brothers. One of my brothers was actually a personal trainer at a gym. So it made it very easy. He was like, Vince, boom, take the dumbbell. Don't hold it like this, hold it like that. Your form's fucked up, do it like this. You know, legs, put your feet here, turn them this way. And like, I just had that guidance initially, right? So I didn't have somebody that, I guess, was a trainer, but I had my brother that was literally a fucking trainer, you know? So like, that was why I was able to go into the gym and in 6 months build something crazy. I had tried working out before that. Like I tried going alone. I'm drinking chocolate milk. I'm doing the form wrong and shit. I watched the David Lade video. I'm like, yo, I'm next. And then I just didn't see results. I got weaker every single workout. And it wasn't until I had guidance that I was able to shortcut my success in the gym. I think it's the same thing with business, right? If you try to do business yourself, you're gonna mess up the form. You're gonna do things you didn't even know were wrong just because you're a newbie, right? And then over time, when you get somebody who's already done it, that's like, yo, do this, do that, don't do this, do that. It makes it quicker, right? It's like buying time. So, I mean, what's a practical example of somebody buying time? I mean, if we look at, I don't know, let's say even like getting a college degree to some degree is like investing in self-development. If you want to get a good job, you need to have the certifications. You need to learn from people that have studied that field. They give you the degree, you go get a job. You know what I mean? But the most successful people I've known have bought time. They buy time in every area, whether it's self-development, whether it's other people doing stuff for them. All of my friends that are successful, they all have drivers, they all have like assistants that book flights for them. I'm like, bro, you don't book your own flight? No, I don't book a flight. I'm like, damn, okay, why is that though? And it's just something that you study, right? But yeah, I mean, you can learn a lot from life just by looking at successful people. You don't have to reinvent the wheel a lot of the time. Did you start working out alone? Did you work out with a friend group?
I had a buddy that originally got me into the gym.
Uh-huh.
So because I didn't want to go by myself, you know, I was kind of in that mindset. I was like, oh, I don't want to go by myself. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'll go in the gym. So he kind of helped me get a base layer of it. And he actually stopped lifting because he was probably the fastest motocross racer in Midland. And so you're not supposed to lift when you're racing, right? You're not supposed to build your arms, stuff like that. You're only supposed to do core and legs, because if you build your arms, you get arm pump. It's harder to hold on to the bike that way. So he stopped lifting, but I continued rather than stopping, even though I did race as well. But I just loved lifting so much that I didn't stop. So
Damn.
I did have somebody who kind of guided me off and then let me go on my own. But
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. And that's like super important. I remember the time, like, I mean, even now, I mean, obviously now with my brother, me and my brother don't live in the same city anymore, but there was a time when I was the skinny kid and I got introduced to the gym by my brothers. And then there's that time 2 years later where you meet up and like you're stronger than the person that got you in the gym. I see all these memes sometimes that'll have like Master Shifu, it'll have the damn tiger in that movie, and it's like, yo, when your gym bro beats your PR. And bro, that's the most beautiful thing I feel like about lifting too, is you being able to pass the teacher, right? Passing the, but you can never outshine the master, right? You got to give credit where it's due. I'm like, bro, you got me in the gym, etc. Yeah, bro, you're way stronger than me. You got to let them have their spotlight still. But yeah, bro, I've done that with certain mentors too. Like I've had a mentor, I'll pass him a little bit, and it'd be like, sometimes it's a friendly battle, sometimes it's like, bro. But if you look at like, I don't know, if you look at business, right? If you look at the gym, I compare the gym to business a lot. I compare success in every single area. I think of like, if somebody's new to the gym, right? It's rarely ever going to be a bodybuilder that goes, bro, you're skinny as shit, bro, just give up. It's going to be the people that are also struggling with the gym and not seeing results. Same thing with business, right? If somebody's new to business and they're starting a new business idea and people are like, bro, your business is failing and this, that, you shouldn't do that, then maybe it tells us something about that person in the background, behind the numbers you see online, behind the screenshots. You know, so it's just like, for the people that are skinny out there, I want you to understand, I used to wear a fucking puffer jacket to the gym. I was telling you this yesterday. I used to wear a Nike puffer jacket, bro. Like, just because I was that skinny and I didn't want to be seen. I don't want you to see my elbow bones and shit. And I got to a point I just took the jacket off, bro. It was like 2 weeks in. I was like, fuck it, I'm taking the jacket off. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to hate the way I look. I'm going to look in the mirror. I'm going to have the smallest size white t-shirt, but there's still an extreme amount of space between my arm and the shirt. And I feel like that was the best thing I ever did, because growth can only be found outside the comfort zone, right? Like, get in the gym when you don't want to go to the gym and you're going to be embarrassed. Put extra weight on the bar even when you don't want to, because you're going to grow more. And it's just, yeah, I mean, that's how I summarize it. Get uncomfortable with your life in every single area. And when you take the principles that you learned inside the gym and apply them to success, game over. That's why I like working with gym people. People ask me, Vince, why don't you go general? Why don't you coach all types of demographics? Why don't you coach real estate offers? And I've gotten offers to 6 figures a month in other areas, trading, real estate, etc. But it's a different type of person, right? Like I know gym people. I know gym people because I was a gym bro, you know, and that's why I love I love what I do. You know what I mean? When they say when you love when you do, no day feels like work, right? That's the number one thing. But yeah, how are we on time? Okay, cool. So we'll wrap it. Yeah, we'll wrap it up right now too. But yeah, Paul, I mean, on that same note, bro, been a great podcast, a lot of value. You know, I wanna have a finishing statement, right? Just think of the past you. All right, think of you that's skinny, he's playing sports, he's just getting in the gym, little bit of a weak mentality, right? He's like, man, should I do this? Should I not? What would you say to the past version of yourself, bro?
Drop your vices. Quit all the bad habits you're doing right now. Quit going out. Quit partying. Start going to the gym. Be different from other people and quit trying to fit in. That's the main thing.
Hell yeah, bro. I'll put a cherry on top of that. What if you never fit in because you were born to stand out, bro? You know what I mean? Game. But yeah, Paul, where can they follow you, bro?
On Instagram at Paul Hudson Fitness.
Let's get it. And then you guys can follow me too. Instagram, Vincent Fisher _ TikTok, YouTube. Let's get it, bro. Hell yeah. Banger. Let's get it.